Hello, everyone. Welcome to the USMNT Gold Cup roster breakdown. A lot of interesting news today. A lot of people obviously super pissed, including myself, just because of the players that are missing from this roster. So we're going to break down each position, talk a little bit about who's going to the Gold Cup for the USMNT, who's going to be missing for the Gold Cup roster for the USMNT. And I'm also going to play a clip that dropped I think it's about 30 minutes ago from Mauricio Pochettino on the USMNT Twitter account talking about what he's expecting from this team this summer, which is kind of funny based on who he brought. It doesn't really add up to his actions. But I'm also want to know what you guys think about this roster. I want you guys to tell me if you're excited, disappointed, like me a little bit, who you're expecting to maybe shine through or maybe perform well and step up with this opportunity. But it's not anything to really be exciting about, to be honest. Also, guys, make sure if you haven't already that you smash the like button down below. It helps us out. Share with a friend to broaden the discussion. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're only 8 subscribers away from 6,700. We're trying to hit 7K by the end of this month. Got a little over a week to go. I think we'll do it, especially with all the stuff coming up. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. Also, hopefully you guys can see this pretty well. Real quick before we get into it, Timothy Park says this roster just doubles down on the fact that the top players don't give a yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit, Timothy. Mister, a member of the channel, says hi, Will. Appreciate you for tuning in. Hellas Lucas says, I hate that I paid $70 just for Pulisic to be rested. We are definitely going to talk about that because I'm so pissed at someone like Christian Pulisic because it just feels like he doesn't give a damn about this team. Timothy Park says, is Adam coming on the show tonight? Adam is not coming on tonight. He had a scheduling conflict. He's going to try to do something with me next week, I think. I definitely want to have Adam on. I definitely wanted him on because normally he will come on and break down the roster releases with me. So we're going to try to get Adam on very soon. John says, predictably, meh. Mister also says, on paper, it might be underwhelming, but if it takes the MLS guys to show some passion, so be it. Okay, very important part. Let's break this down position by position. Then we'll give an analysis on who's not here, why they're not here, and just how bad it really is, okay? So obviously the goalkeepers, Matt Freese, Patrick Schulte, Zach Steffen, Matt Turner. No big surprises to me. I don't know how you guys feel. Nothing crazy, except, hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. Now, back to the video. I did think that Chris Brady was worthy of a spot for this Gold Cup because he's been playing really well for the Chicago Fire, ironically under Greg Berhalter. I thought that Chris Brady was playing well enough to where he would possibly get a call up for the Gold Cup. I think his ceiling is higher than any one of these 4 goalkeepers, Matt Freese, Patrick Schulte, Zach Steffen, Matt Turner. He's got a higher ceiling than all these guys. And all these guys are just underwhelming to me. Matt Turner's not playing at Crystal Palace. Zach Steffen is okay, but he's kind of, I don't want to say left behind, but he's just kind of unnoticeable at Colorado, even though he's been playing well. Zach Steffen really had his momentum killed when he left for Manchester City back in 2019. Zach Steffen was supposed to be the guy, the heir apparent, the person who was supposed to be our generation's Tim Howard for a decade. And it just never materialized because of that move to Man City. Just he was on loan army and he never got the minutes, and it really halted his development. Okay, if we're being honest, it just did. Okay, Patrick Schulte, I think he's a good goalkeeper for the Columbus Crew. I think he's solid, but he just doesn't have the it factor, right? He just doesn't have that it factor. He's very bland. He honestly reminds me a lot of Matt Turner. Just he's playing MLS and playing more regularly, but he just doesn't have any special qualities that makes me think this guy could be the future number 1. That's just my opinion. Matt Freese has been very solid for New York City FC. Like him a lot. Think he is. Matt Freese kind of reminds me of what Brad Guzan was for the USMNT during the Tim Howard era. A very, very reliable, could be backup goalkeeper. And that's what his ceiling would be. Okay. I just don't, all these goalkeepers just don't really do it for me. Okay. Chris Brady's the one guy that could, but none of these guys do it for me. It's really sad to think about how far the goalkeeper pool has fallen compared to what it used to be. The USMNT has been known to have their number one keeper be a guy in the Premier League. Casey Keller, Will Friedel, sorry, not Will Friedel, Brad Friedel, my bad. Brad Friedel, Tim Howard. Hell, Brad Guzan played in the Premier League. Okay, they actually played. Now, Brad Guzan obviously was playing for Aston Villa, and he not a very good team, and he had some so-so performances there. But damn, he played there for 10 years, good enough to be in the Premier League. All those guys played in the Premier League. Now our number one goalkeeper is a guy who can't even start. He doesn't get any minutes. I don't think he's played regular minutes in years. Matt Turner. Matt Turner has to get a move to MLS this summer if he wants to be the guy in 2026. He's got to get a move to Major League Soccer in 2020, but before 2026, this summer, he's got to make a move to Major League Soccer. He's got to get minutes. You can't have a goalkeeper who's not playing. You just can't. You're cooked. You're cooked. So that's my take on the goalkeepers. Now moving on to defenders. Not really any surprises. Maybe Alexander Freeman is a little bit of surprise, and obviously Arfston is obviously a surprise too. But like, I'm not really upset with any of these picks outside of Arfston and Tim Ream. Tim Ream is 38 years old. 38 years old. He has no future with the USMNT. I told my friend Vince Maduri back in 2023, or yes, I think it's 2023 because the World Cup was late in 2022. I told my friend Vince Maduri, I said, Vince, if Tim Ream is the starting center back for the USMNT, we are in trouble in 2026. And he said, like many other people, including myself, Will, there's no chance that Tim Ream is on this team. He's 35 years old. He'll be 39 at the 2026 World Cup. There is no way he's a starting center back in 2026. Here we are. It looks like Tim Ream is going to be a starter for the USMNT in 2026. And the crazy part is that Tim Ream hadn't even been playing center back for his club, Charlotte FC. He was playing fullback at 37, 38 years old for Charlotte FC. So he's not even playing the preferred position for the national team at the club level in MLS. Huge red flag. Okay. I would have liked to seen someone like Walker Zimmerman, who's actually having a pretty good year for Nashville SC. Nashville SC is playing really good under BJ Callahan. I would have liked to see Walker Zimmerman. Walker Zimmerman gets a bad rep. I know he's an MLS lifer defender, but you know what? Damn it, he was consistent, or is consistent in Major League Soccer. He won Defensive Player of the Year like 3 times in a row, and he got hurt in 2023 and 2024. Had a bad slide. Honestly, think it was also because Gary Smith is a bad coach, a really bad coach for Nashville SC. So I think that if you consider that, he's finally found his form again, and I think he's playing to a high level. I like Walker Zimmerman. I think he's good. I think he's better than anyone else we have. So I don't really understand that. Chris Richards is obviously, I think, our most talented defender. He plays so good for Crystal Palace. Chris Richards does. But when he puts on the USMNT kit, he never performs like he does when he's playing for club. And that's an issue we're going to talk about. So many of these guys play outstanding for their club. Outstanding for their club. But then when they put the red, white, and blue on, they absolutely stink the joint up. They're not good. They don't perform. They just don't perform. And that's an issue. And that's why I think some of these guys who are getting a call up that aren't typical USMNT regulars, like some MLS-based guys, because this is a heavy MLS roster. Like, let's not kid ourselves. This is a very heavy MLS roster. These guys have a chance to prove themselves. They have a chance to prove themselves and maybe take a spot from a guy who is entitled, who doesn't fight for the red, white, and blue, who doesn't have the grit, the heart, the desire. And And we are going to get into Christian Pulisic because there is not a single player I'm more disappointed in than that guy himself, Christian Pulisic. Absolutely disgraceful that he's not playing in this. Cody says this roster is really not that bad. I mean, I don't think it's terrible, but it's not. This is the last big tournament before the 2026 World Cup, and you want to kind of see what you have with all the preferred players. You don't really want to be experimenting too much a year before the World Cup. You kind of want to have it cemented for the most part and know who you're going to take and know who the guys are and see how they play under Pochettino's system. You don't want to be dabbling in players who might not even have a chance to make the roster and just wasting everybody's time when they're not actually going to do anything for the team. Mr. says, yep, Brady should be in. Turner shouldn't be. He needs to sort out his club situation. I'm telling you right now, if Matt Turner is not with an MLS club by the end of the summer, he should not be on the roster. He should not be on the roster. If he is not on an MLS team by the end of this summer, he's got 3 months to do it. He cannot be on the 2026 World Cup team. You have to, your number one has to be starting for his club. Has to get minutes. A's Nostalgia guy says, I think Pulisic has lost trust in his teammates. He doesn't want to be blamed again if they don't do well in the Gold Cup. We'll get into Pulisic in a little bit, but I can't disagree with you. Ian says, happy to see Sebastian get a chance. We'll talk about that a little bit because I do think, like I said, there are some guys who are worthy of getting a chance because they've been playing well. I agree with that. There are some guys who have earned a chance. Like Sebastian Berhalter is a guy, and let's go ahead and move on to that. We'll move into the midfield. Tyler Adams is like the lone guy who actually plays. Who would you consider like a cemented starting 11 player who's going to be on this team? Now, Ballo obviously is too if he's healthy, but Adams has been here forever, right? He's been here for years. He is like a pillar of the team, of the what we call golden generation, obviously, right? So it does feel weird to see him here and not like anyone else. It kind of felt like, well, if McKinney's not here, if Reyna's not here, if Pulisic's not here, if Way is not here, if Moose is not here, why is Tyler Adams here? Why is he the lone one who is going to play, right? Or be at this Gold Cup? It's a little weird, right? Oh, yeah, Serginho Dest. Sorry, forgot to mention him too. Yes, Serginho Dest. I am going to be interested to see how he comes back. This is his first appearance for the USMNT, I think, since 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe he played a game in 2024, but I think it was 2023. I'm going to be very curious to see how he performs. This is the first time he's ever played under Mauricio Pochettino. So I'm going to be curious to see how he comes back from his injury, what he can do in the system. That's a player that we have to rely on that has to be good in 2026 if we want to do anything. And also, I forgot to mention Jedi is not on this team. I think he's resting an injury is what they said. Or maybe he was personal issues. There's just so many dudes that are missing from this roster. It's hard to keep up with the excuses they're giving of why they're not playing. Honest to God, it's really hard to even keep up with who's missing for what reason. Simply Dope says, isn't Christian hurt? Hey, don't be dissing Charlotte. No, I'm not dissing Charlotte. I will when Ajimong, when we talk about him later. Ajimong over Sargent is disgusting. Yes, we'll get into the attackers in a second. Let's move back onto the midfield, right? So Tyler Adams, kind of random why he's here with the consideration of who else isn't here. Okay, but I'm glad to have him. Obviously, he's our best defensive midfielder, in my opinion. I don't know anybody that would disagree with that. Sebastian Berhalter has probably been the most impressive American player in Major League Soccer this year, in my opinion. Sebastian Berhalter obviously is Greg Berhalter's son. He's got a target on his back. A lot of people thought maybe he got several moves because of nepotism, because of who his dad was, and, gets more chances than maybe others would. But I tell you what, the Vancouver Whitecaps has been the best team in Major League Soccer this year. And Sebastian Berhalter has arguably been their best player this year. He 100% deserved the chance to prove himself and play on this team. Now, is he going to get a roster spot for the 2026 World Cup? Probably not. But he has earned a chance to win a spot. So I'm not mad that Sebastian Berhalter got called up. I'm not mad at it one bit. Let's see what he can do with the USMNT. Let's see what he can do with all these other players. I don't know what he's going to be, but I'm not mad at the opportunity. I'm curious to see what he can do. Now, Johnny Cardoso, I saw an interesting post. I want to pull this up because this is kind of related to other people of what they've said. Let me make sure I like this because I did think this was a fair point. I guess I didn't like it, but essentially, I'm paraphrasing. They said that Johnny Cardoso played 45 matches for Real Betis this year. 45 matches, okay? He played like 3,400 minutes for the team. And he's not using that as an excuse to not play in the Gold Cup. He's still going to play in the Gold Cup. He could say, look, Poch, I just can't play. I'm burnt out, man. I played 40 or 3,500 minutes this year. This is the only time for me to get a break. I played 45 matches. But no, he's playing. He has a chance to represent his country, and he's playing. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see from the people that you would consider to be top priority players for your World Cup roster. By the way, guys, we got 51 of you in the chat right now. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button down below. I think we're at 15 likes. Let's try to get to 100 likes on this. This is the Gold Cup roster breakdown. I'm doing the deep dive. I'm getting you guys involved. Make sure you like it down below, share with a friend, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're getting close to 6,700 subscribers. We're trying to hit 7,000 by the end of this month. We got another episode with Tab Ramos coming out on Sunday. I got Alexi Lawless coming on next week to do a Gold Cup review. I'm going to have my buddy Adam Turner come on soon and we're going to do something Gold Cup related. A lot of USMNT content on the way, especially with the Gold Cup and all these friendlies. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so back to the the midfield, okay? Luca De La Torre has been incredible for San Diego FC. Arguably their best player. There's a player they have named Anders Dreyer who's probably their best player. He's really good. Chucky Lozano's okay, I guess. I mean, I don't think he's been their best player, but he's not been bad. Luca De La Torre is the unsung hero of the midfield. Him and Annabelle Godoy. Luca De La Torre has played well enough in MLS, I think, to deserve this call-up. I don't know if he's going to get a spot on the 26 roster. He's worthy of getting a call-up. Okay, I have no problem with that. Diego Luna is my guy. I'm a huge Diego Luna stan. Diego Luna is probably the most excited I've been for an MLS player to play on the USMNT team since I can't even tell you. It's been a long time. A long time. He has everything you want. He's got talent. He's got grit. Let me move my camera down for a little bit. He's got talent. He's got grit. He's got heart. He's a dog. The dude literally broke his nose, stuck 2 tampons up his nose, bleeding out of it, and just went back into the game. That's what we need. We need a guy who, like our traditional teams, would just lay it all on the line. That embodies what Diego Luna is. That is what embodies what he is about and what he does, Diego Luna. So I am very happy for Diego Luna. Some of you will say I'm crazy for saying this. I think Diego Luna could be a starting 11 player for the World Cup team in 2026. When he came on for that game against, was it Canada, if I'm not mistaken? I tried to blur it out because of how bad it was in the Nations League. I want to say it was Canada, but it could have been Mexico. I think it was Canada. When he got on the field, you just saw that there was a passion you didn't see in the previous game. He got an assist to Patrick Agyemang. He was the only person that looked like they cared, played with grit, making plays, creating chances, making runs, playing hard. And I think that Pochettino likes him. I think he really, really likes him. And he's playing well enough at RSL to where if he is just staying in the same form he is, he's not regressing, obviously, or having a bad run of play, I think he could be. I know he's guaranteed to be there in 2026. I know he's going to be on the roster, but I think he could start. And honestly, if he plays well, why would you not start him? At the end of the day, Some people are getting mad about the roster, and I'm not exactly thrilled with it, but I've said this for a couple weeks now. Hell, I've said this for a couple months now. I don't really care what league or team you play for. I care about how you perform when you put the badge on. And so many of our guys do play for nice clubs. They do play for top, for clubs in top 5 leagues around the world. But they don't do anything when they put the red, white, and blue on. They don't do anything when they do that. And that brings me to Malik Tillman. Malik Tillman obviously is a baller when he plays for PSV. He's rumored to get like a $35-40 million move this summer. Not exactly sure where he's going, but that's a rumor that he's going to be moved for that kind of fee. But when he puts on the red, white, and blue, what has he ever done? What has Diego Luna ever done for the USMNT? Honestly. I mean, he doesn't do anything for us. He's like 22 years old, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 23 years old, Malik Tillman is. And at a certain point, even if he's got the talent, he have to start performing with the USMNT, or there's no reason to put him on the field. There's no reason to put him on the field. I'm a way bigger believer in Diego Luna for the USMNT than I am Malik Tillman. But that doesn't mean I think Tillman is worse than Luna or that Luna is more talented. I just know that when Luna puts on the red, white, and blue, he's going to play 150%, and he's going to get results. I don't feel that way when Malik Tillman plays for the USMNT. I don't feel that way. Mr. Mitchell says Cardoso has been linked with a move to Atletico Madrid. Yeah, I think he's been linked with them and Tottenham Hotspurs. I think he's had a couple pretty prominent moves he's been linked with. Judgmental Deity says, ironic the dual Nats some argued didn't care seem to be the ones caring enough to show up, and that includes Luna too. I agree. Let's move on to the attackers. Okay. Now, outside of Ballo, this is a very, very weak class of attackers. I mean, it just is. Let's be honest. Okay. Brendan Aronson doesn't do anything for the USMNT. Honestly, been underwhelming for his club too. I'm not a big Brendan Aronson guy. I just don't think he plays with any passion. He plays sluggish. He feels like he's always a step behind when he's trying to make a play or create a chance. I think I'm just not a big Brendan Aronson guy. Personally, I'm not. Don't really like that. Patrick Ajimong, very, very clunky player. Not very good clinical finisher. Very tall, a little awkward. He's just not USMNT quality at this moment, right? He's like 24 years old, and I'm not trying to put him down because I think he's been solid for Charlotte FC. He's just not USMNT ready. He's just not, right? There's so many other guys I would have above Patrick Ajimong, okay? Ballo, obviously, this is going to be the first time I think we've seen him under Poch because he didn't play in the Nations League. I don't think he's played with Poch yet. Maybe he's played one game. But I'm curious to see what Ballo looks like under Poch when he has a true striker. Poch really hasn't had a guy up top, which is one of the main reasons why people have been, I don't want to say less critical, but maybe give him a little leeway, because even if he's got Pulisic or Reyna or Adams or Weah or Musa, whoever it may be, we haven't really got to see what he could do with a true number 9. He's not even had Pepe, who's also on this roster. I want to see what he can do with Ballo. I want to see how this team changes with a legitimate striker up top, because I think it could be different. So I'm going to be very, very curious to see how that pans out. Quinn Sullivan, interesting. Obviously, Quinn has been solid for Philadelphia. Obviously gets overshadowed by his brother, because his brother's obviously the next big prospect. Everybody talks about what his ceiling is and what he could be. I'll be curious to see what he does with the USMNT. Brian White obviously is a very productive goal scorer in Major League Soccer. He's got 8 goals in 2025. He's been very instrumental to the Vancouver Whitecaps, as well as Sebastian Berhalter, for them winning this year. I'll have to see. He's 30 years old. So that's my skepticism. That's why I'm skeptical. He's 30 years old. This feels very similar, Brian White, to this USMNT. Feels very similar to what Chris Wondolowski was when he made the 2020 or the 2014 World Cup for Jurgen Klinsmann in the USMNT. Just kind of like an MLS lifer who is a pretty consistent goal scorer, but limited as far as their talent. I mean, he's good in Major League Soccer. He's consistent in Major League Soccer. But what does he do on the global stage? How does he perform in the international stage? I don't know. I mean, I maybe would be open to him being like the third option, because if he can score, I'm cool with him being the third option. I'm not going to get upset if he's the third guy. Some people want to be Josh Sargent, but it's like what I said with other guys, like Tillman. They just don't do anything for the USMNT. They just don't do anything for the USMNT. They just don't do it. Okay. Someone says it's a fake headline again, training camp roster. But I mean, this is the guy. These are the guys who's going to be, maybe one or two guys get changed out. These are the guys that are going to be at the Gold Cup. These are the guys. But back to Brian White. It's Josh Sargent cannot score. I'm okay with Brian White being the third option. Or our next guy, Haji Wright. Haji Wright is a good player. Haji Wright is more of a traditional winger, I would say. But I would rather him probably be our third striker. I think Haji would be better than Brian White. I could be sold either way. But Haji Wright is very good. I'd like to see him get some more minutes. I'd like to see him get a chance up top and play solely up top. We'll see. Now, to the people who are not here, Christian Pulisic. Christian Pulisic said he needed some time off. He'd played a lot this season. He wanted to get some rest. How do you turn down an opportunity to play for your country when you had an embarrassing performance against Canada and Panama in the Nations League? And this is the time for redemption. How do you turn down an opportunity to represent your country? This is the entitlement that people talk about, where some of these guys just feel like they're doing us a favor by playing for us. They're doing us a favor by playing for us. They don't actually care about representing the red, white, and blue. I don't think Landon Donovan, Michael Bradley, Clint Dempsey, Tim Howard, none of those guys would have said, yeah, man, I played this whole season. I'm going to need some time off, especially the year before the World Cup. This is the time. This is the biggest tournament you're playing in before the World Cup. You need to get as much chemistry down. Some of these players have played together, obviously, but in this system under Poch, you need to be doing any opportunity you have to play together with your national team teammates, especially the guys that are most likely to go to the World Cup in 26. You need to get as many minutes with them as you possibly can. I mean, Pulisic not playing in this is an absolute slap in the face. Honestly, most of the guys not playing in this is an absolute slap in the face. I want to say McKinney's not playing because of, is Juve in the Club World Cup? Maybe they're not. But McKinney not playing, Pulisic not playing. I think Pepe's actually hurt. Jedi's not playing. All these guys who should be playing that are not, it's sad. It's embarrassing. But hopefully some of these guys who aren't playing have a chance to be, I don't want to say outshined, but these players that are getting an opportunity can shine. They can get their chance to prove themselves. Because my whole line of thinking has always been, yeah, so it is, okay, Juve. I know that's why Reyna, because I think Dortmund also wants Reyna to be on the bench for them during the FIFA Club World Cup as well. But Pulisic has no excuse. Pulisic is supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be our leader, and he's just not a good leader. He's not. We need him at this Gold Cup, and he doesn't want to go because he's tired. And I brought up the point earlier about Johnny Cardoso playing 45 games this year, playing 3,500 minutes. He's tired too, but he's going to play. He's going to play. And it's just really, it's sad in a sense, but I'm going to be curious to see all these MLS players because there's so many of them. There's like 16, 17 guys that are playing in MLS. I'm going to be curious to see what they do with this opportunity. Are they going to seize it? Are they going to run away with it? Are they going to make the most of it in this camp? That's what I'm going to be interested in seeing. I agree. Yes, I think Tyler Adams should be captain. Maybe second play. I don't want Tim Ream to be captain. I think it should either be Tyler Adams or maybe even Diego Luna. That's my opinion. I want to see what these guys do and see if they run away with it. I want to see. Now, I want to play this to you. I want to play this for you guys as well. I want you guys to watch this clip of Pochettino. Now, it's not in English. It's translated. But I want to see what you guys think about this. So I'm going to share this real quick and play it real quick.
Creo que nuestros fans lo que esperan es que el equipo mande una buena señal, una señal que sea contundente, de agresividad, de un equipo que quiere luchar y que quiere pelear por cosas importantes. Y creo que eso es nuestra responsabilidad transmitir. Seguro que si nos comportamos de esa forma, la gente va a venir a vernos y a alentarnos y a transmitir su energía porque tenemos grandes fans. Creo que
So he essentially saying that he thinks this roster is good. It's competitive. It's going to be fine. You know, he says that our mission as the Summers couldn't be clearer. They want to win the trophy. Look, there's obviously going to be some pressure on Pochettino. My buddy Tack said that he said a whole lot of nothing. He essentially said he's yapping. I don't know. I think they got to do something here. It's like I talked to my buddy about this other night as far as expectations, and we're going to do other videos about this. I just wanted to let you guys know my thoughts on the roster, get your thoughts on it, and just kind of dissect that. But I'm not going to be impressed if we win this. I'm just not. I'm not going to be impressed if we win the Gold Cup in 2020 and 2025 because it's what we're expected to do. But I am going to be disappointed if we don't win it because the expectations are for us to win it. So it's honestly a lose-lose. And maybe that's not fair, but that just is what it is. Okay? How many times have we won the Gold Cup? So they really need to look good, but I'm not going to be like gushing because they do if they do, right? I'm going to obviously it has to do with context of who looks good, how they look good and all that, but Pochettino has less than a year to get this team, actually a little bit over a year, sorry. It is about a year to get this team ready for the World Cup in 2026. We haven't seen anything from him that makes him think that this is a pressing matter or that it's urgent, right? A lot of people, including myself, question if he's on vacation with the way he's been coaching this team. This is the first, I don't want to say true test, but this is going to tell us what he's made of, what he can do, and what's to come for 2026. Fair or unfairly, that's just how it is. A lot on the line here. We should win this tournament. Will we win this tournament? I don't know. I'm going to be interested to find out. What do you guys think the expectations? I'm curious. What are your expectations for the USMNT for the 2025 Gold Cup? Are you going to be disappointed if they don't win it? Or do you think as long as they look good, if they're runner-up, you're fine? Because I think they got to win it. They have to win it. They have to win it, especially after the Nations League. Watch along for Miami Philly. No, I'm not doing another watch along until the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is next Saturday. I'm going to be doing that for Vancouver and Cruz Azul. So just be on the lookout for that. I just think that this is a very, very pivotal moment for Pochettino. What he's here to do, what he's going to do, and I'm going to be very, very, very interested to see how he rebounds. I got to go, guys. I actually have some dinner plans. I appreciate all of you tuning in for this special edition of the Gold Cup reaction roster for the USMNT. The Tab Ramos second video will be dropping on Sunday, so look out for that. Also, make sure you like this video down below if you haven't already. We're at 25 likes. We're trying to get to 100. Make sure you like this video down below. Barry says, I'm Jackson Rage sense of disappointment. He's been a member, and I appreciate you being a member, Barry, by the way. Glad you could join us for the stream as well. Make sure that you like this video down below. Try to get to 100 likes. We're at 23 or 24, I think. Also, subscribe to the channel. We are 8 away from 6,700. We're trying to hit 7,000 by the end of the month. 9 days. I think we can do it. A lot of content coming up. Subscribe if you haven't already and hit the little bell notification. And Barry, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Very, very much appreciate it. And thank you for being a member. I'm glad that you got to join us for this stream tonight. And there will be another one maybe next week with Adam. I don't know if we're going to do a video or a stream, but just be on the lookout for that. Appreciate you so much for the super chat, $20. Hope you guys have a great night. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.